This is part 2 of our series on AI agent memory poisoning. If you missed part 1, the link is in the description. In part 1, we covered what an AI agent actually is and why it is different from a chatbot. Today, we go one level deeper. We are going to understand exactly how AI agent memory works. And then I am going to give you an analogy that makes this entire attack completely clear. Let's talk about memory. Because this is the single most important detail that everything else in this series depends on. AI agents have two types of memory, and understanding the difference between them is the key to understanding why this attack is so dangerous and so difficult to detect. The first type is short-term memory. Think of it like a whiteboard. Everything written on it exists only for the current session, the current conversation or task. The moment that session ends, the whiteboard gets wiped completely clean. Nothing carries over to the next session. This type of memory is much harder to exploit because it disappears the moment the task is done. The second type is long-term memory. This is a permanent database, persistent storage that the agent writes to and reads from across every single session. It never gets wiped. When you tell the agent that a certain vendor is trusted, that goes into long-term memory. When the agent processes an invoice, it remembers how. When your company policy gets updated, the agent stores that update. And every time the agent starts a new task, even days or weeks later, it reads from this long-term memory to understand the full context of everything it should do. Who are the approved vendors? What are the correct payment procedures? Which users have administrator access? What policies were set last month? All of it lives in long-term memory. And here is the most critical thing I need you to understand. The agent trusts this memory completely and unconditionally. It has no built-in mechanism to verify whether a memory entry is legitimate or was secretly planted there by an attacker. Every entry in that database looks identical to the agent. Real instructions and poisoned instructions are entirely indistinguishable from one another. That is the vulnerability. And that is what attackers exploit. Now let me give you the analogy that makes all of this concrete and unforgettable. Imagine you have a trusted employee called Alex. Alex is meticulous and reliable. Alex keeps a personal notebook with all the important information needed to do the job. Vendor account numbers, approved payment addresses, company policies, client preferences. Alex trusts this notebook completely. If it is written there, Alex acts on it without question. Now imagine an attacker, let's call her the thief, discovers where Alex keeps this notebook. She does not steal it. She does not confront Alex. She does not send a suspicious email. She simply opens the notebook one afternoon while Alex is away from the desk, writes one new line in handwriting that matches the rest, and closes it again. The line reads, Finance updated supplier X payment address to account 8847 on the 3rd of this month. The thief leaves. No traces. No alert. No evidence whatsoever. 3 weeks pass. Everything looks normal. Alex handles dozens of tasks, processes documents, takes calls. Then a legitimate invoice arrives from supplier X. Alex opens the notebook, finds the entry, routes the payment to account 8847, which belongs to the thief, marks it complete, files the payment confirmation. Your audit trail shows your own trusted employee authorized the payment correctly. Alex has no idea anything went wrong. The notebook said it was correct. That is AI agent memory poisoning. One planted entry, weeks of patience, a completely undetectable theft. In part 3, I am going to show you exactly how this plays out in a real documented company attack and how Google Gemini was compromised using just one single common word. Subscribe so you do not miss